life is getting expensive, pricey, barely afford it. And due to certain outside factors, it's probably going to get worse. But coupon clipping and searching for sales and stuff like that, I'm always checking flyers. But this is that only takes you so far. And even then, and I really only do that for essentials, things like food and groceries, clothes for the kids, stuff like that. But there's certain essentials that are a little bit outside my price point. Like if I need to get an appliance because my range is gone, or if there's any furniture that we need to have replaced or purchased for the first time. Now, I'm actually on my way right now to get a couple of things. They're not essentials, but they are pricey. And I did not pay full price for them. It's something I've always wanted, or rather I've had, but I haven't had one for a while. So if I piqued your interest, stick around. I'll show you what it is. Let's see what I got. I think I got a problem. I did not exactly mean for this to happen. It just sort of did, but that's the one drawback of how I purchased these guys. First up, DJI Mini 4K, DJI Nero, and the Mini 4 Pro. Now, believe it or not, I got all three of these guys for less than $1,500 Canadian for all three. The Mini 4K comes with the remote, drone, one battery, and remote. Typically this would be, let's have a look. So at the time of filming this drone is $390. I got it for $250. It's brand new. It's just the box has seen better days. The Neo, just the drone itself, I believe is $200. Yep, $200 on sale actually. I got it for $150. Also brand new. Props and screwdriver and cables. And you can see the drone itself. Ooh, that is small. And the one that I really wanted, the Mini 4 Pro, this one comes with the dedicated remote with the screen. I think it was called the RC. Can't see without my glasses. Yep, this is the RC remote with the screen. And of course, here's the drone itself. Also brand new. This guy went for, how much does it go for brand new? At the time of recording, the drone and the remote by itself is $1,300 almost. And this is all before taxes. All in Canadian dollars, by the way, as well. I picked it up for $750. How? Okay, that's my little secret, which I'm going to share with you guys. I've been buying a lot of stuff this way, and it's worked out great so far. I go online, and I find what are called clearance auction houses. So when certain businesses close down, they'll have an abundance of stock. And a lot of times they just can't get rid of it. Some of it will go to clearance places, and then they just sell it off. Or in some places they have auctions where it works just like eBay. Starting from $1, you bid, and it keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And they usually run for like a week, sometimes 2. And like I said, I've been using this method to buy a lot of stuff lately. Most of it necessities, like my kids' desks, and I got them their computers. Mind you, the computers were junk and they kind of broke, but it turns out that the school was giving them Chromebooks anyway, so I didn't really need to worry about that. Some of the Brita water filters I got. God, what else? Some of their Christmas gifts, like I got a Squishmallow for my daughter, and I've gotten some of my kitchen knives from them. Mind you, they weren't the greatest. My phone as a replacement. I used to have a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which the screen went totally white. Like they just jacked up the brightness on it, and I can't adjust it or anything like that. I don't know why. I had to get that fixed. Or going on to an auction, I was bidding on a Galaxy S23 Ultra, and I picked that up for $600, and it was refurbished. But refurbished, it's been over a year. I think it went for almost $1,000. And then of course there are some more luxury items like, these 3 drones. So why did I get 3 drones? Well, to be honest, I didn't want 3 drones. That's the one downside of this process. I was bidding on the 4 Pro with the remote. And I've been bidding on drones for a little while, and I have had no success because I usually bid on 1. I usually only ever see 1. But this time I actually saw these 3. And there was actually more on top of that too. So I thought, there's a good chance I will actually win 1. So I placed a bid on 4K Pro, on the 4K. I put 1 bid on the Neo, but I was fighting to win the Mini 4 Pro. I got it for maybe a little bit more than I was expecting to pay for it, but I didn't mind. I got it, but I had still placed bids on these 2 other drones. So I figured, there's still a few hours left for the bid to the auction to be finished, so someone else will get a bid on it too. So I thought. Turns out no one else placed another bid higher than mine, so I got all 3. So what am I gonna do with all 3? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll run some tests and do a video on that. Working on that, and then maybe I'll sell 1. Maybe I'll sell 2. Who knows? Maybe I'll sell all 3. I have no idea. Even though you can save money on that, sometimes you have to be very careful with when you're bidding. But honestly, it's not a bad way of saving money, especially with this day and age with everything constantly getting more and more expensive. Okay, so how it works is this. It operates a lot like how you shop with eBay, for instance. You go on and you place bids on things that you see, that you find, maybe you've searched, and you have a time limit of each item. And whoever, you're a little bit low. It's a little bit better. And within that time limit, if you have the highest bid, you get the item. It's yours to take. That's pretty much where the similarities end. Typically with eBay, it's more of a person-to-person interaction. Some of the people that you deal with are probably, they do it for a living, where they buy a bunch of stuff, put it on eBay, and hope to make a profit by selling it to you at a higher price. But how these auction houses handle it is that they are the ones who are putting these items up for auction themselves. So it's their business to clear these things out, to clear these items out. This is pretty cool. I want to check this out.
Follow. Close. Follow. 3, 2, 1.
That's pretty cool. So let's talk a bit more about these auctions as I'm letting this thing follow me. Kind of creepy, really. How it works is, for them, they will charge you well, I won't say they, well, not all of them, at least I found. Some of these will charge you a premium for, it's like a certain percentage, almost like a tax on top of the what your final bid will be. Come closer, come closer. There you go. That's so cool. So a lot of these places tend to be like a warehouse where I'm guessing they get a lot of their stock from places that have closed up shop and they need to move inventory. Um, a lot of them are lost freight or customer return items from Amazon or other online retailers. It's kind of a pain in the ass to hold this all the time. Birdie's flying around. Oh, I didn't bring the pad. Probably not a great spot for it to take off because it's underneath the tree. None of satellites can't take off yet. Storage is full. Then don't go. Here. Huh? SD card is full. No, it couldn't be. So the sites that I like using are, for me being in Toronto, I used to check out a place called 403 Auctions. They're like just behind the airport. Pickup only, unfortunately, but they have a ton of premium stuff. They used to have like a lot of phones and electronics. Sometimes they do sell-offs from movie shoots. Usually props. I haven't seen the equipment yet. I actually did once see equipment on another auction site. It was called Danbury. I don't remember the name. I'll try not to look it up. But it's pickup only, unfortunately. And I think they charge like a 15% premium. Taking off? 19.
Home point updated.
Ah! Don't want it falling over. It's not holding its position very well. Land.
Landing.
Good boy. There's another site I also used to really like using. I actually bought a ton of stuff from them. Is Auction Max. I think they're only now known as Max. Max with two X's. Now they have a lot of stuff. They, they're actually quite literally a very large warehouse. And they're out in like Old Weston Road area. And they used to offer shipping. They're actually the ones where I got those desks for the kids from during lockdown. Like I said, they have a ton of stuff. They have patio furniture and stuff like that. They do, oh gosh, they do power tools, lots of electronics typically, industrial stuff even. Like I said, they used to offer shipping, but the thing is, with them, when they did offer shipping, it was only on a few select items. It wasn't like across the board. They didn't ship everything. A lot of stuff, especially when it came to like the furnitures. They even have outdoor sheds still over there, but you had to go pick it up because of the size of the items that you're bidding on. One thing I'm not crazy about this drone, it takes a lot more setup time because you have to attach your phone to the damn remote. Hit record, audio. Don't know if it looks good or not. This is my first time doing like this. So I don't know what exactly happened, but the audio cut off. So I was in the middle of just rambling on more and more about these auction sites I was using, and all of a sudden I just saw my mouth move, nothing else. And which gave me a good chance to update the firmware on this, on my R7, which I'm filming on. Just giving this a try. I don't know how if I like this look or not, but I'll give it a try for now. So I left off. What was the last thing I said here? Okay, so pickups for auction mongers. That's where I left off. I don't take notes on these things, so I don't know how I went about this, but I'll see if I can pick up. Another site that I do use is Auction Mongers. I did pick up quite a bit of stuff from them before. They're located out in Richmond Hill. If I didn't mention it already, Auction Max is in the west side of the city, of west side of North York. around Old Western Road and 401, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've been there, especially since they no longer offer shipping. They stopped doing that around the time when Canada Post was threatening a strike for like nth time. Auction mongers, they're out in Richmond Hill, East Beaver Creek. They recently moved, but I don't think they moved that far. So that's around Highway 7 and 404. They're not bad. They do offer shipping. It is for they do charge you extra for shipping because they don't use post. They actually use a third party courier. I think it used to be Pure Later. I don't recall. It's been a while since I've used them as well, only because I actually go up there to pick up the items now. They seem to have a lot of quote unquote junk. I'm not a fan of a lot of stuff that they have, but occasionally they do have some pretty good items for to bid on. Like my Epson printer over here, photo printer. I believe it's the Expression 970. That was from them. That works pretty well. This computer chair, mind you, it was, I don't know if you can see on this side, it's a little chewed up, but it came assembled and I got it for probably like $40 if I remember right. This little studio light I'm using right here, that was from them as well. A couple of Squishmallow toys from my daughter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So they're not bad, so I don't mind using them, and they're a lot closer than the other two options I mentioned earlier. When I do this, I cast a bit of a shadow. How to fix that? This wand was from them too. Maybe I could do some underlighting. No, probably need something on top. Okay, that's gonna be something to invest in. Or why don't I just turn on the room light? Does that fix it? A little bit. I gotta play around with lighting. I really should try and get a monitor. Which, by the way, I also saw that on an auction as well. Oh, at least I'm on here. I actually checked the link. And that one that I was trying to mention, Danbury Global. They actually did have an auction on. It was a lot of film equipment. There's a couple of Canon lenses. I think there was like a C80. A couple of Sony camera bodies and lenses. They also had an Atomos Ninja 5. I was trying to bid on that. I could not get it, though. It just went way beyond what I was willing to pay. And that is something I also would recommend, is that when you do put bids on these items, set yourself a limit, because you can easily go over. And even then, if you do set yourself a limit, give yourself like an extra, depending on how much, give yourself a little extra leeway, like maybe another 5 to 10%, depending on the type of item that you're bidding on. Because when you're bidding, especially within those last few minutes, it'll become a bidding war. Like you'll outbid, and then someone else will outbid you. Someone else may outbid that person, then you got to outbid that person, and it just keeps stacking up and stacking and stacking and stacking up. And you may end up spending a bit more than what you would expect. But as long as you know where your upper limit is and you don't cross it, you can save yourself a bit of money. One that I recently discovered was a place called the Stockroom, stockroom.ca. They're relatively new. Their website is not bad. I haven't had experienced any issues. When I was there picking up one time, they said that they had a few bugs to work out. I didn't find there was any problems with it whatsoever. They're still out in the east end. They're in Etobicoke, more closer to the south side. They're still kind of drivable, except when I'm trying to get home, I'm going to have to go across the Gardner and the QEW. That's crazy traffic. But they do offer shipping. Now, their shipping options, just like with AuctionMax, is a bit limited. They won't ship everything that they have, but they have different shipping options. Some of the items they'll just ship and it's free as long as your total bill is above $200. So think like Amazon. If you want to have free shipping, and if you're not like a Prime member, You've got to hit like what $35 to get free shipping, unless the item that you're buying specifically states that they offer free shipping regardless. But Stockroom also has a courier for other items that they will charge for shipping. So, for instance, like those drones that I got, the Mini 4K and the Neo, they were free shipping, but the 4 Pro, I had to pay for courier for that one. But what I really liked about the Stockroom is they don't charge you a buyer's premium. I don't know if this is a temporary thing, just to because they're brand new, that they're trying to just get more momentum. But at least for now, they're the cheapest options. They have a lot of stuff. They have some food. They also have a lot of small items like office wear and some clothes, certain essentials like laundry detergents you can get from them, kitchenwares, including small appliances, some computer components, and another thing I got from them, which I really like. I never really thought of actually getting these until I saw them, and it was actually a good price. The Samsung Buds 3. These are the version 3 of their headphones, and these are the Pro versions. Typically, they're what around. I know they're over $200 Canadian. I got them for just over $100. Those fit my ears quite well because another thing I got, and I picked these up all through either Max or Mongers, the Buds Pro. These are the Buds 2, I believe, the Live, and their standard edition. You know, why do I have all three of these? Well, I didn't get these by accident. I did deliberately grab these only because the Pro sounds really good, but they don't quite fit my ears that great. The standard edition almost sounds as nice. The noise canceling is not as good. Ear fit, it's a little bit better. These fit great, the Live, but there's no noise canceling. Well, I love something from all three, but each of them has something that makes it just that much less usable. So that's why I've got three of these, and adding the Bud 3 Pro, it's makes it 4 now. So that's Stockroom. There's so many more. I am finding more of them as I search for them. There's one that's on Scarborough on Progress Road that I'm gonna start using because it's on my way home from work. LPL auctions. There's Top Bins. There's Black Friday. There was like a Royalty Estates. I only looked them up because I thought that they had some used vehicles. I didn't land one of those, obviously. I went to a dealership instead. Police auctions. They, especially on vehicles, sometimes they get rid of some of their old vehicles. I've seen some, actually. Things that they've seized that are not illegal in nature. Sometimes you see cameras that's up for grabs on these police auctions. There's so many of them around, and it's actually not a bad way to try and save yourself a bit of money. I will say though, there is a bit of a risk. A couple of times, especially when I started doing these bids and doing these auctions, I was looking at new phones. Thankfully, I did not actually win any of them early on because, especially with phones, you have to be very careful. When you see one, you have to make sure you have to check its status. First, you want to know if it's brand new in box, open box, damaged packaging, refurbished, refurbished class A, B, or C. I don't think there's a D. Used, demo, but especially if it's like used, demo, refurbished, any of those, or even actually across the entire board, depending on its condition. One thing, especially with cell phones, you have to check is to make sure it's not blacklisted. On all your phones, well, typically on the back of your phones, there was like a sticker, or at least in the box that came in, there'll be a sticker with the IMEI. Uh, it's like a 25-digit code. It's alphanumerical, and it is specific to your phone only. That IMEI identification is clear, meaning that it was not reported as being stolen or missing or just blocked for some reason in your region. So if it says it's blacklisted, that means if you won this, you take it. It is useless for you to use. If it was blacklisted in North America, you cannot use it in North America. That's Canada, US, and Mexico. That phone is useless in that whole region. It is blocked because it's, for some reason, that phone status says, well, it's either stolen or went missing. For one reason or another, that code was reported and it will no longer be available for use in that region, aka blacklisted. Mind you, if you're someone that travels a lot, or if you're buying it for someone that's in the Middle East, Europe, Africa, Asia, anywhere else in the world that's not North America, that phone will be okay to use. Of course, that's not the only thing you gotta look out for. It's anything really. When I picked up the those two desks at with AuctionMax, I did read it. It did say one of them was damaged, and it showed a picture of where damage was. And for me, that's not a big deal because that was at least fixable. Whereas if it's something that's electronic, another status sometimes you'll see is salvage, which means that it's basically not in a usable condition. But if you want to pick it apart for parts, go right ahead. I've seen a few drones being sold that way, laptops, whole computers. So be on the lookout for the condition of what it is you're going to be bidding on, because that's going to be important for you to assess what the value is behind what it is you're bidding on, because they will. I don't know if all of them do this, but most auction sites will post the manufacturer suggested retail price just to give you a broad idea of how much what its value. But if the condition of it is not brand new, it's not worth that much. Another thing I got burnt on, actually two things. There were home improvement items. They I really should have done something about it. With AuctionMax, they allowed for, I think it was like a 1 week period, a grace period after you've picked it up or whenever you received your goods, to make sure that it's in working order, unless otherwise stated. Because if it's something that's sold as is, there's no coverage, there's no guarantee. Um, but if it's something that they advertise as being brand new and or whatever, or it's in some kind of working condition, you have 1 week to test it to make sure that it is actually working. Now, I did that with one item. It was a DeWalt 20-watt battery. One of those bigger ones, honking ones, and I plugged it in. Mind you, I sat on it for over a week before I managed to finally rip open the packaging. Tried it, charged it, and it was not charging. I did some research on it, did some Googling, and it says, well, depending on the way the light status is flashing on the charger, it will or will not charge. Maybe it's too cold, maybe it's not, maybe it's too warm. It was winter when I was trying it, so I tried warming it up. That didn't work. I did everything I can think of, and I still could not get it to charge. And it turns out occasionally there's like a cross connect on some of the connectors, which you really can't fix. So I was like, oh great, I got these and I can't use them. And on top of that, I don't know how to get rid of it properly. They're batteries. Also, recently I picked up some ceiling lights. I started installing them around the house until someone mentioned you did make sure that there were was it CESA approved. That's the electrical safety approval rating for, I think, Canada or North America. And I checked all over the box afterwards. I'm like, crap, I don't see any sort of any sort of a stamp of approval, let alone one for Canada or North America. So it's okay. Crap! I quickly took those down because that's an insurance liability, and set those aside, and wound up going out and buying a pair of more expensive ceiling lights. Mind you, I didn't spend a whole lot on these lights. They were $40. The one that really hurt the most was that DeWalt battery. That was ouch. That one of those batteries already is $100. I picked it up for like 70. I didn't really save a whole lot, so I yeah, that one hurt. Be careful when bidding on them. At the very least, you're not taking the risk that it's another that you're buying from another person, like on eBay, that they could scam you. There is a bit of a safety net because you're dealing with a business, an actual corporation, but it still doesn't stop the fact that the product you're getting, the product versus the product that you're bidding on, may not be equally represented. So, with that being said, if you found any value behind what I just discussed, hit a like. Yeah, I'm trying to plug my channel a little bit, but yeah, things are changing around here. I might be doing more stuff like this. I'm playing around with the idea of it. So this is just me rambling on and trying to make it look a little bit more interesting than usual. But if you like it and if you want to see more of what I would potentially want to try and do, if you want to support this channel, please hit a like, subscribe, and comment. And let's see where my channel goes afterwards.